I am honored to be here with you all to share this momentous occasion. So let's get this out of the way first. On behalf of Governor McAuliffe and his administration, congratulations to all the graduates. Now, we've already heard this before. You didn't get there on your own. You've had some special people helping you. Let's take a moment and thank those who helped you get here once again. Now, since being asked to speak, I naturally reflected on my own school experience. Now, I graduated in 1978, and to give you some perspective, in that year the Walkman was invented. Anybody know what the Walkman was? It was a portable disc player. The first ever cellular phone was tested. It's about this big, by the way, and a gallon of gas cost 63 cents. Now, like perhaps many of you, I was the first person in my family to go on to a higher degree after high school. And I suspect, like many of you, I was feeling both excited and apprehensive about the future. But of course, my future is here today. And technology has advanced to the point where you have a computer that connects you 24 hours a day. I saw many of you using it. It's called your cell phone out here. And electric cars are replacing gas guzzlers. And of course, there's still cause to be probably apprehensive and concerned about your future. We do face national security threats, and there are some economic headwinds. And this has even led some of us in our nation to question our resolve. In fact, I just read a Bloomberg report that stated that 50% of millennials, you in this room, believe the American dream is dead. Well, let me give you my thoughts about that. The dream of Washington, Jefferson, and Adams, that we all live in a democratic free society, is not dead. Lincoln's dream of uniting the country after the bloody and destructive Civil War, who killed more Americans in that war than all the other wars we fought combined, is not dead. Harry Truman's dream that we could join with our allies to defeat communism and our Nazi oppressors and keep our free democratic society is not dead. And possibly the biggest dreamer of all, Martin Luther King, who showed us what it really meant in our Constitution that said all men are created equal. His dream to end racial inequality could not be more alive today. So to paraphrase Mark Twain about some remarks people made regarding his health, the demise and the death of the American dream is greatly exaggerated. The American dream is your right. It's your dream. It can only be relinquished or taken away from you if you let it be. It is all in your control. Now, I've also reflected a little bit in preparation for this speech on my journey and my American dream. It may be different from yours, but I'd like to share several important aspects, a few gray hairs that have taught me over the years. And the first thing, you have taken the first step today of the American dream, and that is education. Now, one might ask what the Secretary of Transportation knows about education. And the answer to that is not much, except I have one. And that is really what the important key is. Because you see, education is a lifelong learning, not just something you learn in the classroom. The debate about a 2-year education or a 4-year education or a certification or a credential of some kind, the answer to all that is yes, whatever is best for you to be successful. A recent report just estimated there are 1.5 million jobs here in Virginia alone that we need to fill in the next decade. Governor McAuliffe calls this the new Virginia economy. They're in technology, cybersecurity. That is out there for your taking. Because you see, education is the key to the American dream and our American freedom. And what really is important is you being able to successfully support yourself. This has been true since the beginning of our nation and our democracy. One of my favorite books is titled Democracy in America, written by Alexis de Tocqueville. This book was written in 1835 when our country and democracy were still very young. And de Tocqueville notes that some of our first laws to promote an educated public, because he goes on to say that an educated public is key to not only our democracy, but it is also key to our livelihood. And that has been true in my American dream. Now, another aspect for me in securing the American dream is what I call is to learn to run to the fire. Now, what do I mean about that? Our first impulse when something's on fire is to run away. But thank God we have firefighters who are trained to put out this fire. And that is true of the problems you'll face in life. Your first impulse might be to run from them. But what we really ought to do is really ought to concentrate on solving them. Run to the problem. This requires hard work. It requires you to be brave, daring, and courageous. But that's what the American dream is. It's about making hard decisions. And by the way, when you get a job and you get in the workplace, if you really want to impress your boss, or maybe you want to get a raise, go solve a problem. Now, a lot of you people are out there thinking about you're going to plan what you're going to do from this point forward. But I've found that planning is highly overrated. What you really should focus on is taking advantage of opportunities whenever it presents itself to you. Statistics show that you'll probably have 4 or 5 jobs in your lifetime. And it's critical that you move forward by taking chances and not being afraid to fail. Always be on the lookout for opportunities. In reality, there will probably be 3 or 4 major decisions that you'll have to make in your lifetime that will really have a significant impact. You may fret about a lot, but 3 or 4 will really be important. You'll know when they happen if you're always one that looks for opportunities. Now, the hardest lesson I've had to learn in chasing the American dream is one of personal responsibility. If you really want to look in the mirror to find out who can really make a difference, go look in the mirror. That's the person that controls your future. You have a responsibility to yourself and your community. And if you don't take personal responsibility, you'll always find yourself a victim of circumstances. A big part of this requires accepting honest criticism. Now, you'll need to learn to discern between an honest critic and others who don't always have your best interest at heart. And I found this especially to be true in public service. This may be painful sometimes, but we often grow in the face of adversity. And finally, what I've found is you have to have a vision for success, no matter what that might be. Your American dream doesn't have to look like anybody else's. Success is how you define it. And for me, I found a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson that sums up what success means. This was given to me by my wife, Peggy, or pointed out to me during a tough period in my life. And Emerson goes on to state that success is to laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. That is what it means to succeed. And we've already seen today an American success story right here at TCC. We've seen the Guzman family. That's the beginning of an American success story. Now, you've all taken the first step toward achieving success, no matter what your interpretation of what that might mean. And I urge you to challenge yourselves daily. I hope you find your success. And I'll tell you, there are many of us who stand ready to help you. Because remember, at TCC, from here you can go anywhere. Long live the American dream. Thank you.